What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Well, welcome if this is your first time here. If you like videos about prepping, survival, self-reliance, and other related topics, then be sure to subscribe and turn notifications so I'll be notified each time that I upload a new video. Guys, you've probably heard by now, and a lot of you no doubt are experiencing this extreme cold weather here in the South. In fact, much of the South, if not all the South right now, is below average in temperatures. Right here, right now, according to my phone here, it is 13 degrees. This morning when I woke up, it was 6 degrees, and the other morning it was actually 6 below zero. That's extremely cold for this area. And we've had snow, and then on top of that snow, we've had sleet and ice and freezing rain on top of the snow. So it's been extremely slick, and most people are stuck at home right now. I've been out one time actually to test, the old Toyota out and see how well it does in the snow and the ice. But that was when it was just mostly snow before all the ice came. Since the ice came about 3 days ago, I've been home ever since, not gotten out because it's just too dangerous in these back roads. The main road, the main highway, the state highways are good, but these county roads haven't been touched, and they are just a complete mess. And here where I am, where you go out, I have one steep hill to go up. It goes up the hill, and then it goes around a curve, and it's pretty steep. You got to go up that. If you come back that way, you got to go over that hill. And I would rather go up the hill than over the hill because going over, you can get in the ditch or over a bluff. If you go the other way, it goes to the main highway from here. You have to go one way and then get on another road, and another road, and another road to get to the main highway from here. But anyway, if you go that way, it's pretty level, but there's one part in the road that's real narrow that if two vehicles are meeting, they barely have enough room to even pass by. And unfortunately, the road is where it's not up a hill or down a hill, and that one area about a half a mile, it goes like this, the road does, so you're kind of on an angle. And on this side over here, you got a bluff over here that's probably 50 feet over into a bunch of trees. So I stay home, when that ice comes. I went out, like I said, the other day when the snow was on the road and it first fell. That's about 2 days after it fell. But then when this ice came, I've been staying at home. And in fact, most people are. I know a lot of people I heard on the scanner, on the police scanner, when the ice first started falling, people were out on the main highways and things, and those roads got slick. And there were all kinds of people in the ditch. There was one hill up in town that is really steep, and it's famous for being bad during the wintertime. And I think they said 11 wrecks on that hill. There was cars on the ditch everywhere trying to get up that hill and trying to go over that hill. Why don't people stay home? Why don't people prepare? But a lot of these people were getting out after the snow, trying to get more supplies in before the ice came, and they got stuck in things. So I don't understand why people don't prepare, even for these snowstorms and things like that. I mean, they've been given this weather forecast on the nightly news for a week, so people knew it was going to come. People were talking about it, but unfortunately, most people still didn't prepare, didn't do anything. And when I went out the other day, like I said, it's been like 4 days, I think it's been since I've been out, actually. And that was after the snow. I went out to test the four-wheel drive and see how good it would go in the snow and things. Because here it doesn't snow a whole lot. We didn't have a snow at all last year besides just a little dusting on the leaves and stuff. That's all we had last year. Year before last, we had quite a bit of snow. So I kind of want to get out and play in it in the snow, actually. But I should not have done that, to be honest about it. I should have just stayed home. But you know how it goes. You get home, you get that cabin fever, and you want to get out and just see what's going on. So I went out, and it wasn't bad. I didn't slip or slide or nothing or anything like that in the snow. And I stopped at a few different stores to see what they look like. And everywhere I stopped, the bread was extremely low. Milk was extremely low or completely gone and non-existent. Bread, eggs, milk, the common things were all gone. And people had waited till the last minute, and they ran to all the stores and got up all the bread. And I went to 2 different dollar stores. I went to a local supermarket here, local county, locally owned store here, and they were low on bread, low on milk, low on eggs. So people wait till the last minute, and they go out and buy these things like that, and other things also to stock up. However, if the power goes out, people are pretty much screwed, because a lot of people heat with electricity. They heat with natural gas. They usually have the blowers and things that you have to have electricity to run. They have no backups. They have no backup heat sources. The roads are iced over. The roads are snowed over. They have no backup heat sources. They've been through it before. They go through it quite often across the United States. But unfortunately, people still don't want to prepare. They don't want to do anything, it seems, to get ready. And like I said, we had over a week. They've been forecasting this extreme weather here, but still yet, most people didn't do anything, didn't prepare at all. They didn't fill their vehicle up with gasoline. They didn't bring in, if they heat with a wood stove, most of them didn't carry a lot of wood in. They just brought in a little bit that you need for that night. They didn't stock up on, milk and bread and things like that, so they wouldn't have to go out. I mean, how hard is it to understand that things happen? Even these winter storms and stuff happen, and people still won't even prepare for that. So it's extremely difficult, and it's not just about impossible, to get people to prepare for, long-term events like an EMP strike, a CME strike, a cyber attack knocks out the power grid, a terrorist attack on the power grid. You talk to people about that, and it's even worse than trying to get people to prepare for, that winter storm, because they're looking at you like you're a nut. And they see it all the time. They know it's a possibility, but they still refuse to prepare. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. You would think that people would put some money into buying a generator, for example, a gasoline-powered generator, and storing back, 10 or 15 gallons of gasoline to run that on, would have, a backup heat source. If you lived any length of time, no doubt you've had the power go out. Unless you're an infant, and if you're an adult, this can happen. It's happened already to you before. It happens pretty much to everyone at some point or another. But people see it. They see it happen. They've lived through it. But they still don't do anything to get prepared. That's like that deep freeze in Texas. That was, I think it's like 3 years ago. Froze up. The power went out. People's pipes burst. People were freezing. They were cold. And I guarantee you that the vast majority of people that lived through that went through that and suffered through that, haven't done a damn thing to get prepared. Haven't done anything to get ready. They still have no generator. They have no solar generator. They have no gasoline-powered generator. They have no backup heat sources. They haven't tried to harden their home against these freezes and things like that. I mean, they just hope that it doesn't happen again, and that if it does, they'll be okay. The government will come along and save them or something. People see these things happen, but they still refuse to prepare, even for these things that happen all the time, like extreme weather events. Heat goes out. You freeze, you get cold, and you would think that people would be like, I don't want this to happen anymore, so I'm going to be ready the next time and put a little effort to that to get ready. But instead, when it's over, it's like they just forget about it. And they want to go on a vacation. They want to pay to go see, their favorite football team throw a ball around or something, and not put that money in preparedness and getting ready for what's going to happen in the future. I mean, they know that it's extremely likely to happen again in these extreme weather events, and they happen all the time. And people know this, but they still refuse to prepare. And you start talking to people, like I said, about things like an EMP, terrorist attack on the power grid, cyber attacks, CMEs and things like that, and it's like you're talking Greek to these people. They refuse to prepare. They refuse to acknowledge the fact, even though they live through these like weather events, they won't even prepare for that. It doesn't make any sense to me. What is wrong with people? And if the power went out for any length of time over a wide area of the United States, or even the whole United States for that matter, which is definitely possible, and you have these cyber attacks and things like that as threats, and these terrorist attacks and everything, I think we have 3 main power grids, and if they go down, I could be wrong about that, but I think there's 3 main power grids that supplies most of the United States. And if those go down simultaneously, I mean, the United States would be black, just whoom, total blackness and total quietness pretty much, besides the rioting and the looting and the burning that would happen in just a few days. But you can imagine if that power went out of the United States, communications went down, the cell phones went out, the internet went out, the power went out, everything went out. It would be chaos so quickly. I mean, within probably a few hours in the city, would start burning, rioting and looting and stealing and things like that. They'd be breaking into department stores and stealing television sets and things like that, and cell phones that don't even work anymore because they think it's going to come back up, and they see an opportunity to steal, to loot, to rob, not knowing that it's going to be down for 6, 7, or 8 months, if not indefinitely. I mean, it would be complete, total havoc. And people are not prepared. They're not prepared at all. Even out here in the country, in the rural areas, people aren't prepared. And people's lived through these situations before, these power outages. They won't do anything. The majority of people still refuse to prepare. They refuse to put back any food storage. They refuse to put back clean drinking water in case the water freezes up. The treatment plants go down. Everything takes electricity. The store you go to buy your grocery, to buy your cigarettes, to buy your beer, whatever, has to have electricity to keep everything cold, keep everything from burning. They have to have electricity to keep the checkout counters going because they scan everything. There's no, used to be, you see on things like the Waltons, and they go in the store and you have these manual adding machines. They would add up everything that way. You could do that still yet, but now you have to scan everything. It's all connected to the internet and the power grid. So that goes out. You can't buy. You can't do anything. You can't get any money out of the bank. I mean, everything is closed down in that situation. But people still yet, it's like, It's so frustrating trying to talk to people. And you go on like Facebook and see people whining, complaining about the being out, not having anything to eat, not having anything, suffering, freezing cold because the power's out. Luckily this time the power stayed on here. If the power would have went out here for this long a time, it'd have been a mess. People would have been suffering, and no doubt a few people would have probably died. They couldn't get to a neighbor's house or something that had heat that would work, without the power grid. So you need to think about these things and stop wasting time and actually prepare for at least, these winter events. Because the power goes out. Look at Texas. No doubt you, more than likely, unless you live in the Philippines somewhere or something, have experienced a winter power outage and have frozen, have been cold, have your pipes burst because there's no heat in the house. You can't get out, you're stuck, and the power goes out and you're there twiddling your thumbs because you've not done anything. You've lived through it before, and you still haven't done anything, most likely. A lot of people has. And some people has on here because, this is a prepping channel, so a lot of preppers here on this channel. But no doubt, people, you have family that hasn't done anything at all, who hasn't prepared, who refuse to prepare. And look at you like you are an idiot for even suggesting such a thing, because it's going to be okay. It's all going to be just fine. What if it's major? What if you had this event? Like I said, terrorist attacks on the power grid. If you had war, I took out the power grid. If you had cyber attacks, EMP, CME, took that power grid down for months or more, where would you be? Where would the world be? If you had everything set up, and hopefully you're in a decent location, you could lay low and defend your property, take care of your property, protect your property, but lay low, and in a few months, most people will be dead because most people hasn't prepared and refuse to do so. Don't be one of those people. But guys, don't be caught empty-handed. You want to have backup heat sources. One of the best, in my opinion, is a good wood stove, especially if you live in an area where there's plenty of trees you can cut, dead trees you can get if you have to. Hopefully you have a good wood stockpile stocked in already, and you definitely should have. And have it in a good dry place, like a good shed or something, covered up, and have it ready to go. If you have like propane heat, you want to have extra propane. Make sure your tanks are all filled up. You have one of the big tanks outside. Have that filled up with your propane. Have a gasoline powered generator. Think, what do you need in your area? It's different things for different people in different areas. But look at what you can afford and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get prepared for at least, 6 or 7 day power outage, because it does happen. It happens all the time. And then once you get to 6 or 7 days, try to prepare for 6 or 7 months, because that definitely can happen. But these power outages happen all the time. Like I said, people still don't do anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. You want to have food storage. You want to have clean drinking water. You want to have backup heat sources, some backup lighting. Candles will work, but they're dangerous because they can get turned over. They can catch things on fire. You have like Coleman lanterns that runs off of Coleman fuel. Those work. You can get propane lanterns. Those work. You can get kerosene lanterns. Those work. However, they also have fire risk. So you want to be extremely careful with those. You want to have carbon dioxide detectors, smoke detectors in your home. If you have any pets, it's even more dangerous, because if you have that kerosene lantern up there, most of those are kerosene lamp. Most of those are glass. You have that burning, dog come through, knocked it over, break that, kerosene goes everywhere, and your house burns down. Kid comes through playing, knock it over, house burns down. So be extremely careful with those lighting sources. You want to have, I like to have battery powered lanterns. I can use rechargeable batteries in those, because they're a lot safer and easier to use and things like that, and don't have that fire risk. So keep that in mind. You want to have smoke detectors, because you're going to be heating with wood. You're going to have you heating with kerosene. You're going to be using those backup heating sources. You want to have backup cooking sources, because you have to be able to cook. And just use common sense. What do you need? Pretend the power's went out and you have nothing. Turn it off and spend your day with it turned off once it warms up. But or now if you want, but you won't get cold. But it will definitely teach you a lot of lessons. The power goes out. What do you need? What do you not have? What do you need to get? What areas do you need to fill up? What gaps do you have in your preps? Figure it out, write it down, and do your best to fill those gaps up and get ready for, like I said, the next power outage, the next snowstorm, the next ice storm. Get ready for that. And once you are prepared for a couple of weeks, then you can expand that into a couple of months, and keep expanding until you can survive, a year or more. And after that, it'll be pretty much normal. You'll be set and figured out how to do everything without that power grid. It'll be back to the early 1900s, 1800s, with a whole lot more people. But a lot of people will be dead during that time. So if you can make it through, like I said, if you can stay secure and supply your needs for a few months, most people will be gone, because if the power goes down, most people will be dead pretty quickly. Everything runs on that electrical grid, the internet, everything is tied in. If that went down for months, you're talking about a depopulation event. Anyways, if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. And like I said at the start, if you like videos about prepping, survival, self-reliance, and other related topics, then be sure to subscribe, turn notifications on, be notified each time that I upload a new video. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore. I'm out of here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.